Uh, Thank you, Chairman Benz and Ranking Member Huffman and members of the committee for allowing me to be here and testify. My name is Frank Rohwer. I'm President and Chief Scientist for Delta Waterfowl. And I can assure you Delta is 100% behind this HEN Act. As you know, the HEN Act proposes to provide grant funding to create hen houses, to install hen houses throughout the prairie pothole region, and also to protect broodwater, particularly in California. I've been a waterfowl biologist for 50 years now, and I can assure you that waterfowl populations are driven by what happens on the breeding grounds. So producing ducks is really important if you care about duck populations. We know from tons of research that populations of ducks are not driven by hunting, they're not driven by the two migrations or winter mortality. It's all about what happens on the breeding grounds. And so that's why I'm excited about this bill. For 40 years, we've known the breeding grounds are declining. We're losing wetlands, and with the intensification of agriculture, we get greater habitat fragmentation, a changed predator community, and it's tough for ducks to survive. The vast majority of eggs laid in the prairie pothole region are eaten by predators. And so if we want to improve duck populations, we have to work on the breeding grounds, and we really need to focus on improving hatch rates. For 40 years, that's the research I've been doing, trying to figure out how do we help ducks escape the predators that now occur on the prairies. And one of the cool things is in the 1990s, we discovered these crazy hen houses. They're just tube structures. You put them on a post in a wetland. Most of these wetlands are privately owned. And they really work. And they work for two reasons. First, mallards love them and jump in these things and lay eggs. And the second really impressive thing is that the eggs actually hatch. I've seen nest success go from below 2% for mallards that nest on the ground in the prairies to nesting in hen houses. And that's a phenomenal increase. We typically see a 10-fold increase in hatch rates when mallards nest in hen houses. And so that's super beneficial to mallards. It is by far, as Congressman Fishback mentioned, it is by far the most cost-effective way to increase mallard numbers. And so that's half of it. That's the hen house stuff in the prairies. The other half is focused on California. And California is a crazy place. 25% of North American waterfowl, all the waterfowl in North America winter in California, primarily in the Central Valley. If you've been there, you look at it and you say, that's insane. This is an area of really intense agriculture. And you'd think naturally that, okay, those mallards come from Saskatchewan, Alberta, Alaska. That's not at all the case. 70% of the mallards in California are locally produced. But they're having a really tough time. Populations have declined in the prairies. Populations have really declined in California. And we know that the limiting factor in California is broodwater. So this bill that focuses on a private, an incentive program for private landowners is really valuable. And what's really cool is California Waterfowl and the California Rice Commission, they've both done a bunch of work to show that private landowners are readily willing to adopt these programs that improve broodwater. If you don't have water in June and July, ducklings just can't survive. And so I think the HEN Act is really cool because it does two things that are really cost-effective ways to help duck populations, and I agree completely with Congressman Fishback that duck hunting is a way of life throughout California and Minnesota down to Louisiana. So I'm excited about this. I thank the sponsors of this bill, and at this point I'll yield. Thank you.
Dr. Rohwer, when you improve the health of waterfowl populations, I'm from Louisiana, so a little bit down toward the southern end of the flyway. Much of the investment under this legislation would actually benefit, I think, the northern portions, but would this be something that would ultimately benefit Louisiana?
Yes, sir. We've done a bunch of marking studies of mallards coming out of nesting structures, and they're put up all over the prairie pothole region. And frankly, they've benefited hunters from Minnesota and North Dakota right down to the Mississippi Delta, you know, south of Venice. So the Atchafalaya Delta has band recovery. So I think everybody benefits from this thing. You know, the center of mallard wintering ranges in Arkansas, but a lot of mallards still make it to Louisiana, to the freshwater marshes. So
Thank you. I had another question. I'll do it for the record. I'm out of time. Yield back, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to direct this on H.R. 6854, the Habitat Enhancement Now Act, to Mr. Rohwer, if I said that correctly. Sorry, I wasn't in the room. The Deputy Director claims that the funding totals would be insufficient to meaningfully assist waterfowl. Can you, Dr. Rohwer, can you talk about how the population would be increased by 400,000 with a $3 million program that we gleaned from the two programs in the bill? How effective would that be?
I'll just speak to the Hen House Act, because that one has hen house portion of the bill. $1.5 million over 5 years produces nearly 20,000 hen houses, and that creates each year around 45,000 extra ducks, and over a 10-year lifespan. We put hen houses out and we pay for the original installation and the maintenance, and so that basically means 10 years of 45,000, you know, plus or minus. So you're talking about 450,000 extra mallards. I think that's terribly cost effective. Absolutely nothing else comes close to that. You know, I applaud the work that
for
Rocket
a
does.
$1.5 million outlay on the hen program.
Right.
Okay, because it's listed here. There's $3 million total with the two programs in the bill. Can you speak on the other half of it?
And the other half goes to you know, protection of nesting habitat and broodwater in California.
Yep.
Frankly, the science is not as clear there, but we know that broodwater is the limitation to duck production in California, and most of the ducks, mallards shot in California, are raised in California. So I think it'd be a tremendous help. Be a great addition to all the other funds that we're using to help improve habitat.
All right, we need a lot of help on the habitat in the far north there where the water's been basically taken away. Yeah.